Thank you all so much for being here. This is truly, truly an exciting time for all of us here, for UWM, for the various institutions. But I think it's probably the most exciting time for our students, our past students, our present students, and our future students. I do want to begin by extending a sincere appreciation to Suzanne Boyd, on our team here at UWM, and I know she had folks at Moraine Park, at Waukesha, Gateway, NMATC that she has been working with over the past few months, and just extend appreciations to all of the team members that did so much behind the scenes to get us here to this moment today. I'm pleased to be able to introduce our Chancellor, the UWM Chancellor, Dr. Mark Moraine. Chancellor Moraine is in his 10th year, and I'm in my 8th month. And, and I can say that in my time here, I've truly seen, Mark, that you're truly a visionary leader. And I think having us all here today is an example of that vision, because I remember when we were sitting during our one-on-one and you said, I really want us to have a blanket agreement with our surrounding technical colleges. And I smiled and I said, we'll get it done. And I went in my office and I said, oh my God, how on God's green earth are we going to do this? And here we are. So I'd like to introduce Dr. Mark Moraine.
Well, thank you, Provost Dare. And nothing happens. You can have a great vision, you can have wonderful partners, but you have to have execution. And Provost Dare, you've delivered. So this is going to be really important to recognize. And it's not just you, but there's a number of individuals, a number of people you've recognized, and certainly my collaborators, partners, the presidents that we have today with us from the great Wisconsin Technical College system who are on the panel with me today. So this is a wonderful opportunity to showcase great partnerships do wonderful things, but it doesn't happen with just this particular level. So today is a great day. It's wonderful that you're here. It's historic. It's really important, as I was sharing with some of my colleagues earlier. We've had counterparts that have taken as many as 9 years to develop 9 agreements. We have something today that is much more profound and much larger than that in terms of the impact and the effectiveness of what this means for students to be able to have seamless transfers from these 4 technical colleges to UWM. It's really powerful and profound in a lot of ways. So we're really focusing a lot on breaking down barriers to education, which is what we all believe in. We think that education should be accessible to all. We know how important it is for social mobility. We know how important it is for employers. We know the difference that an education makes in individuals' lives. 2-year, 4-year degrees are really important for lives and livelihoods in this region, across the state. But we can't do it alone. And so that's why we're expanding the power of partnerships through the great technical colleges that are represented here. We have, from the left side on forward, Dr. Vicki Martin from Milwaukee Area Technical College. We have Dr. Richard Barnhouse from Waukesha County Technical College. Dr. Bonnie Bearwald from Moraine Park Technical College braved the traffic and the weather from Fond du Lac. Thank you for that longest drive, but you've all done great. And then Dr. Ritu Raja from Gateway Technical College. Let's hear it for them for joining us in this partnership. This is about not only recognizing the work that's happened in the past in terms of past transfer students, but especially as we go forward, making this seamless, making it simple. That's not something that you typically think of when you hear higher education. Simple, easy. But this process is going to help ensure that. So we really want to make sure that when students have that associate degree, how easy it is for them from the partner colleges represented here to continue their educational journey at UWM. Prospective students will need to complete only one intent form at no cost versus a lengthier formal admission app. This makes transferring to UWM almost as easy as pushing a button. So this is a lot about streamlining for those students with associate degrees to earn bachelor's degrees. In addition to guaranteed admission and a streamlined application, this guarantee also has built into it that all associate degree holders from these 4 institutions will transfer with a minimum of 60 credits. Why should we not have that type of stance? This is something that just from a moral perspective and certainly from an operational perspective makes a lot of sense. Recognize that earning 60 college degree credits is significant. It's the halfway point for most of our degrees. It also means that those who earn their associate degrees or take classes at technical colleges will come to us with less debt. So with a quality education that's provided at the tech colleges and the lower debt, they're more inclined to graduate from UWM at higher rates. Imagine how this knowledge would be an incredible relief and a powerful incentive to students wishing to further their education. No more worrying about the potential loss of credits from a previous college and paying twice. And how many examples and stories have we heard about that in our lifetimes? We can all talk about the student who wants to be a police officer, gets an associate degree, but is facing 3 or more years at a 4-year institution. That's a thing of the past now, similarly with many, many other fields. It also doesn't matter when the student earned their associate degree. This is time unbounded, so it could be very recent or from several years ago. So it's never too late to continue your education at UWM. These transfer agreements that we're signing today reaffirm our collective commitment to student success and providing clear paths toward earning a bachelor's degree, as well as our continued partnership with regional technical colleges. Thank you. I am now pleased to give the floor to Dr. Vicki Martin, the president of Milwaukee Area Technical College. Dr. Martin.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I am so pleased to be here today. Thank you, Mark. Your leadership is really exceptional. We have talked about this for quite a few years, and we have always been a great partner with UW-Milwaukee. As it turns out that most of our students from our Associate of Arts and Associate of Science and some of our occupational programs have been your largest source of transfer students. They've done exceedingly well once they've come to UW-Milwaukee. They've been very successful, and we have students, as they come in, tell us they want to transfer to UWM, and so we're really proud to be part of this agreement that we're going to be signing today. We've been offering the transfer function. I couldn't believe this either. I had our folks look it up since 1934. Doesn't that sound like a long time? And I've always, yeah, I know, right? And I know that when Mark first became chancellor, in fact, we started at the same time in 2014, and I said, you know, we're your 2-year school. And he said, yeah, you are our 2-year school, which was really, really nice to hear, because I think many years ago, maybe in the 60s and 70s, people wondered about what we were doing. Were we a junior college? What were we exactly? What did we do? Did we do welding? Did we do community education? Yes, we did all of those things. We're a large, comprehensive 2-year college. But this guaranteed admissions partnership that we're calling Panther Tracks is just a wonderful, wonderful program for our students, because they will be able to gain all of those credits. And as you heard from Dr. Moraine, what's so great about that is less time for our students to complete a degree, less debt, so they're going to save a lot of money. And they're going to be ready for success in their chosen careers, which is so great. We want more and more of our students to be able to have the ability to transfer. What we're seeing recently, and I'm sure you've seen these national numbers as well, is that we're seeing a decline, especially among our students of color, in terms of transferring. We think that this will really help bolster that and get more and more students who are interested in the transfer piece, because we know if students do transfer and they continue their education, whether they go to work and they're also going to school, it's a lifelong journey. And we know that it will benefit them in terms of their professional growth opportunities, and they'll have higher incomes to sustain their families. And we know that it's going to make our region so much stronger to have these kinds of partnerships where so many students, and I'm so grateful to have my colleagues here from the region who now also offer the associate degree of science and applied science, as well as occupational programs. So this is just a groundbreaking program. I appreciate it so much to have my colleagues here with me in our region, because we're going to make that whole region stronger by really ensuring that employers get the workforce that they really need, and it will change the economic prosperity of our region. So with that, it's my pleasure to introduce my colleague and friend and president of Waukesha County Technical College, Dr. Rich Barnhouse.
Thank you, Dr. Martin. And good afternoon. It's great to see everybody. I'm sure you're going to hear this a lot today, Chancellor Moraine, but thank you. Thank you for leading on this and doing something that I think is going to be impactful for a long, long time. When the Chancellor came to me and asked, is this something I'd be interested in? Would the college, would WCTC be interested in this? I'm not sure he got the full sentence out of his mouth. We were in. It's such a great idea, and it's something that we should absolutely be doing. So thank you very, very much, Chancellor Moraine. This is how education should work. This is how higher education should work. And this is the first step in that direction. I think, as I was saying to UWM's provost a little bit earlier, that you're going to see this replicated throughout the state and probably throughout the nation, because this is exactly how we should be working. Working together. Not competing, but collaborating, because ultimately we have a significant and moral responsibility to serve the students and the communities, to drive the local economies, to drive the national economies. And I think really what we're trying to do is drive the southeastern Wisconsin economy. So thank you so much for pulling us all together to lead on this. I think we're probably just getting started, and no pressure. Right? No pressure, Chancellor. But I think we're probably just getting started with this exceptional partnership. I can't wait to see the things that the five of us do together. So we're very pleased to be here, thrilled to be a part of this, and look forward to what the future brings to drive the economy for everybody in southeastern Wisconsin. And so it is now my pleasure to introduce President Bearwald from Moraine Park Technical College.
Good afternoon, and thank you for the opportunity to share a few comments. You know, Moraine Park Technical College's mission is really to grow through innovative learning opportunities and experiences, and one of our key values is collaboration. That really is to join forces to build the better path forward. And today we build another path for our learners, this new liberal arts transfer degree, and each of those paths builds more opportunity to fulfill our mission. And we're really excited to celebrate today with UW-Milwaukee along with my colleagues from our sister colleges. Many of you know that in early 2023, a task force was created in Washington County. And while I didn't necessarily support the merger solution, my comments remain the same today. That is, we welcome all levels of continued collaboration with UW-Milwaukee in offering a liberal arts transfer degree for our learners, offering them junior or near junior status in an accessible, local, and an affordable way. I'm really proud of the relationship we have with UW-Milwaukee in celebration of this new pathway, but also really the continued work that we've been celebrating with Chancellor Moraine, his leadership team, as well as my leadership team, many of which are here today, really to explore and expand new opportunities to serve the learners throughout Moraine Park's district and certainly southeast Wisconsin. Just to let you know, in a few short months, we are going to begin a large manufacturing expansion at our West Bend campus, supported by a recent referendum. And this expansion, I think, is going to open more opportunities in looking at advanced manufacturing collaborations. In addition to today's celebration, I'm hoping we'll be back here again someday to celebrate some of those pathways as well. There is so much opportunity ahead, and we look forward to working alongside UW-Milwaukee to serve the communities for years and years to come. I agree with Dr. Barnhouse. This is the first of many celebrations, and we look forward to really collaborating not only on today's successes, but everything we have to offer in the future. So with that, thank you, and I will now introduce Dr. Raju, President of Gateway Technical College. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. You know, the thing about speaking last is everyone said everything. So I asked if I could just say what they said and sit down, but I was told, no, you have to provide remarks. So I just want to thank all my colleagues here for this historic occasion, the agreement between UW-Milwaukee and our 4 technical colleges in our system. I appreciate the work that has gone into making this transfer agreement so successful, and I really believe it will benefit our students greatly. Because of our location, Gateway graduates already choose to transfer to UW-Milwaukee, including the several that did so as recently as fall 2023. Today's transfer agreement makes it even easier for Gateway graduates to continue their education at a 4-year college if they choose to do that. Gateway's focus is on creating as many academic and career pathways for our students as possible. This agreement with University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee offers students completing our associate's degrees another viable transfer option that's very important because it allows them to live and work in our region while fostering their education. We are so excited to partner with Milwaukee to broaden the choices for great Gateway students. I don't have anybody to introduce, so thank you.
Now I think we do the signing. So here we go. So with those comments, we're happy to take any questions that you have for UWM, for our counterparts, my counterparts at the technical colleges, and for any of the folks who helped put this together. If there are any questions, please, yes, Emily.
So the associates in liberal arts, is that a fairly new offering in the tech colleges, and how much did that have to do with this agreement?
So there's a couple aspects to that question. I believe, and I think Dr. Martin, you know the history in terms of the campuses that have had it for a long time, but what's recently happened with the technical colleges, maybe if you could speak to that?
Great, so as I mentioned, we started very early, and I think there was more, but the other, all the other technical colleges collectively now have the same sorts of degrees in terms of Associate of Arts, Associate of Science. And so we're all comprehensive, all of us, and that's what's really great about where we're at right now.
Then the second part of your question, I would decouple it in the sense that what we have historically done, and I give you specific examples of the great articulation agreements that we've had with Milwaukee Area Technical College, and while it has been our greatest source of transfer students, it's a little cumbersome for each. We had a conversation, for example, Vicki, some years ago about social welfare and the work that it takes to do that, and it's significant. You have to get a lot of different parties involved, and it takes quite a while. This sidesteps that and really is something that I give a lot of credit to our academic partners, the provost and their academic teams, to really help be able to resolve those issues in a blanket way. So it really leapfrogs a lot of that necessary work and just makes it a seamless transfer. So it's decoupled from the timing of the technical colleges now having the additional associate degrees.
And why did UWM, in 2019, I read that it was about 150 courses from tech colleges that UWM accepted for transfer credit, and now it seems like that number must have skyrocketed. So why was that number so low to begin with?
Well, I think that's the way, and really referencing how President Barnhouse has talked about this. I think this is the typical way that it has often happened, that we've had what I would describe as artificial barriers to transfer, and this is something that we can do and should do to really provide that access and provide education opportunities to continue to be streamlined. So it's really simplifying that. So, yes?
President Barrow mentioned the task force for Waukesha County, UW-Milwaukee County. Is this going to essentially just be the culmination of those efforts for students in that region that no longer have that resource, or will there be more coming from UW?
There will be more, in collaboration, especially with Moraine Park, but we're actually studying that right now. We've got what we call our College of General Studies, of which Washington County and Waukesha County are parts of that. We're examining exactly what we'll do and where we'll offer different things. And we're working with, whether it's K-12, employers, students, and really trying to get an understanding in terms of what are the areas that are of interest, particularly in areas that are not in the two-year space because of that being taken care of in Washington County with Moraine Park. But where can we supplement? Where can we strengthen? And when Dr. Bearwell talked about the advanced manufacturing, well, we've got not only College of Engineering, we've got our Center for this Connected Systems Institute, which really does a lot with advanced manufacturing, a lot of Internet of Things, wonderful possibilities to partnership around certificates, online types of programs, other things that can really supplement and work well. And that's the same type of thing we'd love to expand with our continuing work with Waukesha County Tech, Gateway, and we earlier already established a lot of things with Milwaukee Area Tech. So geography shouldn't be a barrier in many ways, not just because of online, but none of the colleges are that far away. So,
for the programs with additional degree requirements, what will the application process look like for that? Will it be more of a formal application process?
I'll refer this to our academic folks, but we generally have an intent right now that's going to cover, I would say, probably 75 to 80%. But to your point, there are some, engineering would be an example of where you're going to have to go through something that's a little bit different because an associate degree in culinary arts doesn't give you the necessary 2 years of background for the rest of an engineering degree. So the application process, Suzanne or Provost Dare?
The application process will be the same. You'll be admitted to UWM, just maybe not to the college. So we have a pathway, for example, maybe, I don't know if Kay or Mark, one of the directors, could talk to you afterwards, but they'd be admitted to UWM. They wouldn't have to submit a formal application to get into engineering, but they may not be admitted to engineering until they completed some additional coursework if they were missing something. That's why it's really important. And this is, we can show you the website is live now where students can go and what the intent for it. It's important that they do so early and meet with an admissions counselor so that they can talk about how to do it.
Good. Kay or Mark, did you want to add anything? Okay. Okay. Good. Very good. Yes.
What I'm hearing is you might be admitted to a school, but whereas like at a four-year school, you might have picked your major your sophomore year. Here you'll be transferring, and you might not instantly be in that major. You might have to do some other coursework, but you'll still be like matriculated.
Exactly. Exactly.
How important is this with some of the, you mentioned Waukesha County Technical College. How important is this agreement with some of those schools having to close just for financial and enrollment reasons? There was, I think, a Marinette that's in some trouble up there. So how important are agreements like this on a regional basis with tech schools being able to, one, grant those associate degrees and then also have that ability to seamlessly transfer to the four-year school when what were kind of a community colleges that now are having some troubles?
I think what you're referring to is the enrollments that are happening across the country with a lot of well, frankly, most academic institutions, post-secondary, are challenged from an enrollment perspective. I think that what this will do is, to the extent that, as some have said, to the extent this is scaled, this will make any two-year campus more attractive, I believe, because it really opens the doors up. We look at our current two-year campuses right now as part of UWM. So our current campus at Waukesha, it's already in place where students are UWM at Waukesha students. So this is something that, just like at Green Bay when you talk about Marinette, those students can transfer to other four-year institutions more readily than I think that's what the agreement has. When we had the merger in 2018 with the two-year colleges, with the UW system, I think it helped that. I think we have improvements. And this is actually an example of something that really is an improvement. There's this concept on a tool called transferology that has been in place. You've probably heard about that, where students from four-year and other two-year campuses can look at what transfers where, and it's a handy device. But this leapfrogs that. This makes it so much easier all the way around, and that would apply to the colleges across any UW institution as well as the other technical colleges. I don't know if any of my colleagues want to answer or add anything to that question.
I just wanted to, you asked about the impact, and I would say if you were speaking to the employer, on an employer panel, especially out of the Washington County area, or any other community where there's an existing two-year campus, they would say that the opportunities for allowing their constituents to have access to affordable, accessible, local opportunities for higher ed is absolutely critical. Absolutely critical. Not all learners have the opportunity to travel and have the financial resources to travel here on a daily basis, and so anything they can do to alleviate some of that cost barrier, I think it's going to be critical.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes. Please go ahead.
I appreciate your comment about cost, and so have you thought about, because I did this research for a student previously, what kind of financial incentives are attached to this? You know, after 2 years, we offer Phi Beta Kappa, and there are many private institutions that those students can transfer to and receive a Phi Beta Kappa scholarship. Have you thought about scholarship? I know your enrollment management people are here as well. Scholarship opportunities, because many people choose a WCTC because of the affordability, and we need to ensure, even though UWM is affordable, but we need to ensure that that affordability transitions to the four-year partner school.
The good news is our scholarships have grown both institutionally and those supported by philanthropy every year over the last decade in significant ways, and we look forward to continuing that. We haven't yet earmarked specific funds for the transfer students that we're talking about here, but that's not to say it couldn't happen or shouldn't happen in the future, but we're really proud of what we are offering. I will say this at the same time, it's never enough. The student needs that we have are significant, and we know that. We know that at UWM, our students' financial unmet need is far beyond that across the average of the UW system, and that's why this agreement is so important to really help with the students who come from the technical colleges with a lower debt load than oftentimes what we would find with a lot of other transfer opportunities. And I think having them know that ahead is just great for planning all the way around. So, Kay or Mark, would you add anything on the financial aid?
The one piece that I'll add is to Suzanne's point earlier, after filling out the intent form, students will all be engaging with an admissions counselor who will always talk about financials as well, including encouragement to complete the scholarship application to access those funds which we're talking about.
Yeah. Thank you. Great point. Great point. There was another hand that... Okay. One more question if there is one. Yes?
I just have a question for the tech colleges. Do you have this kind of transfer agreement, automatic transfer or acceptance agreement with any other four-year schools?
Yes. So very recently, I believe it was in May of 23, that Gateway signed an agreement with Carthage. That's Carthage College is a private liberal arts college in our area, and we signed that agreement. And it's been very favorably received. Students, like I said, a lot of students want to remain in the region and live and work here while continuing to further their education.
Yeah.
I think that the difference here is the magnitude of this agreement. You know, like any institution, WCTC and my colleagues in UWM, we've got many articulation agreements across the state. The interesting thing about this one is the magnitude of it, with 5 institutions coming together in a specific area, and like I was saying earlier, to really drive what's happening in southeastern Wisconsin, both educationally, access to education, but also how that drives the economy, both the smaller economies and communities that we live in, but also the larger economy of southeastern Wisconsin.
Well said. Well, I think we can call this a wrap. Now, I want to reinforce again the coffee, cookies, Panther Paw cookies. You got to grab some of those, and they can be unleashed now. We can let them out of their captivity. So thank you all again very much for attending us here today.